you ever feel like you are tuned into a different frequency than the rest of the world? Do you often feel like you are wearing your heart on your sleeve? Or perhaps that your skin is a little bit thinner than everyone else's? If you consider yourself a deep thinker who feels emotions with an intensity that can sometimes be overwhelming, you might be part of the 15 to 20% of the population known as highly sensitive people. Being a highly sensitive person, or HSP, is not a disorder, and it is certainly not a flaw. It simply means your nervous system is wired to process information more thoroughly and deeply. You are likely intuitive, empathetic, and incredibly creative. However, living with this heightened sensitivity in a world that is often loud and fast can present some unique challenges. So let us explore 13 struggles that only highly sensitive people will truly understand. And perhaps, in doing so, you will feel a little less alone. Number 1, you absolutely cannot function without proper sleep. We all know that feeling of waking up after a terrible night of tossing and turning. For most people, a cup of strong coffee and a cold shower might be enough to power through the day. But for you, it feels like your entire system has crashed. When a highly sensitive person is sleep deprived, it is not just about feeling tired. It is about feeling raw. Your ability to filter out noise, manage your emotions, and handle stress completely dissolves. Studies have shown that because your brain is constantly processing so much sensory data during the day, every sound, every light, every shift in mood, you actually require more sleep than the average person to download and file away all that information. Without that restorative rest, you might feel cranky, foggy, and perpetually on the edge of tears. Sleep is not a luxury for you. It is a non-negotiable survival mechanism. Number 2, you cannot stand loud noises or chaotic environments. Imagine for a moment that everyone else has their internal volume dial set to 5, but yours is permanently stuck on 10. This is the reality for an HSP. Does the idea of a crowded bar with thumping bass and shouting people sound like fun? Or does it sound like a nightmare? For highly sensitive people, loud environments are physically draining. It is not that you are boring or that you do not know how to have a good time. It is simply that your nervous system gets flooded very quickly. A concert, a busy festival, or even a chaotic office space can send you into a state of sensory overload, leading to a shutdown where you just need to escape to a quiet, dark room to reset your equilibrium. Number 3, you often feel emotionally exhausted, even when you have not done anything physically strenuous. Have people told you that you are an incredible listener? Do strangers often tell you their life stories within 5 minutes of meeting you? This is because you are an empath. You absorb the emotions of those around you like a sponge. While this makes you a wonderful friend, it can be incredibly draining. If you spend the day with a friend who is grieving or a coworker who is angry, you do not just observe their emotions. You feel them in your own body. By the end of the day, you might feel heavy, sad, or anxious, not because of anything happening in your own life, but because you are carrying the weight of everyone else's feelings. This emotional hangover is a very real struggle for the sensitive soul. Number 4, you scrutinize every single social interaction. Have you ever walked away from a conversation and spent the next 3 hours replaying it in your mind? You might wonder, why did they look away when I said that? Or did their tone of voice change when I mentioned my weekend? Because you are so perceptive, you notice things that others miss, a fleeting microexpression, a shift in posture, a subtle change in tone. This makes you excellent at reading rooms, but it also means you are prone to overanalyzing. You might convince yourself that someone is mad at you based on a tiny cue that they were not even aware of giving. This hypervigilance can lead to unnecessary anxiety as you try to decipher the hidden layers of every human interaction. Number 5, you are easily triggered by violence and cruelty. This is a big one. How do you handle scary movies or the evening news? If you are an HSP, you probably avoid them at all costs. Seeing images of gore, violence, or animal cruelty is not just unpleasant for you, it is unbearable. You have a very visceral reaction to pain, even if it is fictional. Your mirror neurons, the parts of the brain that allow us to empathize, are firing on all cylinders. When you see someone getting hurt in a movie, you might actually feel a phantom pain in your own body. This intense empathy makes it very difficult for you to just watch a movie without feeling deeply disturbed or unsettled for days afterward. You protect your peace by curating what you consume, and that is a very healthy boundary to have. Number 6, you have a hard time moving on from the past. Do you still feel a sting of betrayal from a friendship that ended 5 years ago? Does a breakup from months ago still feel fresh and tender? Highly sensitive people feel emotions with high-definition intensity. When you get hurt, the wound cuts deep, and the memory of that pain is stored vividly in your mind and body. It is not that you enjoy holding onto grudges or that you want to be sad. It is simply that your emotional processing time is longer because you are processing so much more data. You feel the full spectrum of the grief, the loss, and the disappointment. While others might be able to brush it off and say, "It is what it is," you need time to unravel the complex tapestry of feelings before you can truly let go. Number 7, you are uncomfortable with change. Whether it is a new job, moving to a new apartment, or even just a change in your daily routine, transitions can be rocky for you. Routine provides a sense of safety and predictability that soothes your active nervous system. When things change, even if it is a positive change, it requires a massive amount of energy to adapt. You have to reassess your environment, learn new patterns, and process new stimuli. This can lead to feelings of anxiety and resistance. It is not that you are incapable of adventure, but you likely prefer to dip your toe in the water first rather than diving into the deep end without knowing what is beneath the surface. You need time to acclimate to the new normal. Number 8, you do not react well to criticism or conflict. We all want to be liked, but for an HSP, criticism can feel like a physical blow. You are likely a gentle, soft-hearted person who tries very hard to be kind and conscientious. So, when someone criticizes your work or raises their voice at you, it can be devastating. You might feel a rush of shame or a sudden desire to cry. Because you feel things so deeply, a harsh word can echo in your mind for days. You crave harmony in your relationships, so conflict feels incredibly threatening to your sense of safety. You might find yourself avoiding confrontation just to keep the peace, or agonizing over how to deliver bad news without hurting someone else's feelings. Number 9, you do not do well under pressure. Have you ever had a boss stand over your shoulder while you were typing, and suddenly you forgot how to spell your own name? Or maybe you had a timed test where your mind went completely blank. Highly sensitive people thrive on depth, not speed. You prefer to take your time, think things through thoroughly, and do a job perfectly. When you are rushed or forced to multitask, your brain becomes overstimulated and you can enter a state of paralysis. The pressure of a ticking clock or a demanding observer scrambles your thoughts. You are not incompetent. You just need the space and time to process information in your own deep, thoughtful way. Number 10, your boundaries are easily crossed. This brings us back to your immense capacity for compassion. Because you can feel exactly how disappointed or sad someone else is, saying no to them feels like you are inflicting pain. You might find yourself agreeing to help a friend move on your only day off, or listening to a family member complain for hours when you are exhausted, simply because you cannot bear to let them down. Your empathy is a beautiful gift, but without strong fences, it becomes a liability. Learning to separate your feelings from the feelings of others, and realizing that saying no is an act of self-care, is often a lifelong lesson for the highly sensitive soul. Number 1, you are your own worst critic. If you make a small mistake, do you laugh it off, or do you berate yourself for hours? Highly sensitive people tend to have a very loud inner critic. You hold yourself to impossibly high standards of perfection. Because you are so aware of how your actions affect others, you are terrified of making a misstep. You might agonize over a typo in an email or a slightly awkward comment you made at a party. This internal perfectionism stems from a desire to be good and to avoid the pain of criticism we talked about earlier. Learning to treat yourself with the same gentleness and compassion you offer to everyone else is one of the most important things you can do. Number 12, You require alone time. This is not just a preference, it is a biological necessity. After a long day of work, socializing, or just existing in a noisy world, you need to unplug. You need solitude to let your nervous system decompress. This might mean reading a book in silence, taking a long bath, or going for a walk in nature. The problem arises when others do not understand this need. Friends or partners might think you are withdrawing because you are angry or depressed, when in reality, you are just recharging your battery. You are not rejecting them. You are preserving yourself so that you can come back and be present with them later. Solitude is the sanctuary where you put yourself back together. Number 13. You are often misunderstood. Perhaps the most pervasive struggle of all is the feeling of being an outsider. Because only about 20% of the population has this trait, the majority of the world operates differently than you do. You might have been told growing up that you were too sensitive, too dramatic, or that you needed to toughen up. These messages can lead to a deep-seated feeling that there is something wrong with you. You might feel like you have to hide your true nature to fit in, or that no one truly sees the depth of your experience. It can be a lonely feeling to look around and wonder why everyone else seems to be sailing through life while you are feeling every single wave. But here is what I want you to know deeply and truly. Being a highly sensitive person is not a burden. It is a superpower. The struggles we have listed here are simply the shadow side of a brilliant light. Yes, you feel pain deeply, but you also feel joy, love, and beauty with an intensity that others may never know. You are the artists, the healers, the poets, and the peacemakers of this world. Your ability to notice the small things means you see the beauty in a raindrop or a fleeting smile. Your empathy makes you a safe harbor for those in need. Your deep thinking leads to innovation and creativity. The world does not need you to toughen up. The world needs you to show up exactly as you are. We need your softness. We need your insight. We need your open heart. It is okay to protect your energy. It is okay to need rest. It is okay to say no. By honoring your sensitivity, you teach others how to be more gentle, too. You are a rare and precious gem, and your presence makes this planet a kinder, more beautiful place to exist. I hope this list resonated with you and helped you feel a little more understood today. Did you find yourself nodding along to these points? Which one of these struggles do you relate to the most? I would absolutely love to hear your story in the comments below. Sharing your experience helps other sensitive souls realize they are not alone. If you found this video helpful or comforting, please consider giving it a like and sharing it with someone who might need to hear this message. And if you have not already, please subscribe to our channel and join our community. We are building a space where feelings are validated and sensitivity is celebrated. To learn more about this trait, we have linked some wonderful resources in the description box. including videos on the signs of being an HSP and the different types of sensitive people. Thank you so much for watching and for being your authentic, feeling self. Remember to be kind to yourself today. Drink some water, take a rest, and breathe. You are doing a wonderful job. Until next time, sending you so much love and light. Goodbye for now.